All right, everybody, it's that time once again. Time for excitement. Time for the Flux, the Axiom Flux here. Show number 3, show 14 on May 7th, 2017. And there I am. I can hear myself. All right. Anyway, guys, it's good to have you with us. We are here on Axiom Flux. We're going to be talking about world leadership today and a whole bunch of stuff. I'm James Kingsley. I am one of the guys in the room. Who all do we have with us today? I'm not even sure. I think I can see the predators here amongst us. Jeff, are you there?
No, I'm just a figment of your imagination, mate.
I was pretty sure that was probably true. And I see, who else is with us? Is PJ in here?
No, he's just logged off, but Stab says a very good evening to you.
Well,
Dan.
Stab. Hey, Stab, you're my other main man around here. What's going on with you, man?
The same as usual.
All right. Same as usual. That's good. Yeah. All right. That should be exciting. Wayne. Wayne, new guy on the block. I haven't seen you in here. You're blue.
It's Wesley.
Wesley. Is that Wesley? All right. And who else is here with us? There's somebody else? Anybody?
Black Hole Bridges here.
Oh, okay, great. And then, me. I'm there. All right, I see me now. I'm making that little waveform pattern. Anyway, I'm James Kingsley here with you doing what I do. I'm also known as the Shiz in some circles because I'm going to be starting kind of a little talk show thing called the Shiz over on my own channel. Got to get that little pitch in there. But this is an important channel to me because I got involved in the Axiom Flux, Axiom Curb community quite some time back, actually, back when I was with Finn Radio. And it's always been a pleasure to be with my cohorts, my friends over there in the British Isles and beyond, right? So anyway, we got some interesting stuff for you guys today. We've had a lot go down. First of all, we got in trouble, didn't we? Yeah, we got in trouble. Remember that? Yes. We probably didn't see us for many weeks because what happened was this. We decided to be rebels, yeah, and we played a movie. Holy crap, what an act of rebellious turmoil against the copyright masters. And I guess we were hit with a copyright strike or something. Did they ever tell us? Did anybody know what exactly, was that what happened? Was it a copyright thing or what?
I think it was. I think it might have had something to do with the content of it because he's such an Hollywood star and he's such a good-looking guy, is Mr. Moore, isn't he?
Well, yeah, but I mean, he's got an important message. I think the message to me outshone the whole reason. You know, I would have think that Michael Moore would have wanted us to review his film the way we were doing it. We were giving it like kudos, weren't we? I mean, I was. Or was I too drunk? I don't remember. It was just a show. We were talking about this thing and we were showing it and we were giving our feelings, and that's important. That's commenting, but we didn't want to talk over the movie. I think I think you're supposed to just talk over footage now, or maybe just not show any image that's like not distinctly copywritten or paid for by somebody. I don't know how it works now. It didn't used to work that way. You know?
Yeah, I don't think we said anything slanderous or slanderous. Depends on our...
No, we played stuff they didn't want us to play.
Yes, that's about it. Yeah.
And it came down to copyright. I don't think it was some conspiracy to like take us off the air for our opinions. I think it was just we pushed, and I mentioned it several times during the show. Anybody remember that? I kept saying fair use, fair use, fair use. I was really concerned about that, because I knew we were kind of pushing the limits, and we'll try to be good. Oh, great YouTube. Will you please open up our channel and give us back our show so we can like worship at your feet and then discuss YouTube Red and YouTube TV and all the things that you're doing to profit and make more money. We'll help you. Anyway, I did get an exciting thing I got to do. I got to share this real quick with you guys because this is one of those crazy things, and then we get into the heart of what this is about. But I know some of you guys listen because you want to hear politics, and some of you just want to listen to the scuttlebutt of guys just chatting. So here's some kind of scuttlebutt. Any of you guys who are out there who have been on YouTube for a while have heard of probably The Amazing Atheist and have heard of like the Drunken Peasants, okay? Any of you out there and like even here, anybody? Drunken Peasants, they're Anyway, they're a group of guys. They're a bunch of neckbeards, you know, but they're kind of intelligent. I like the way they think. They think outside boxes, and you know, I'm like that too. They may not agree with me on everything, and I wouldn't agree with them on everything, but I got to go to their meetup here in Portland. They had a meetup, and it was really exciting because TJ Kirk, who is the amazing atheist, actually signed my neck. Yes, there's a picture. I have proof. So I don't know. That was sort of a weird thing for me because I like normally I'm not big on the celebrity thing. I probably was more excited meeting him as a semi-celebrity, you know, than meeting if Brad Pitt had shown up. I would have probably gone, it's Brad Pitt, screw it. But it's TJ Kirk. It's a show I watch because yes, I watch The Drunken Peasants. I admit it. I do. I watch it and I laugh. And I like.
Is this a mainstream thing?
No,
John?
this is on YouTube. This is stuff you can. Any one of you here can tune in. Go look up The Drunken Peasants, and it's just what they do is they get on here and they do kind of like what we're doing, only and they play videos and they comment.
Very good.
So they're commenters, but they do it. They're if you don't like dirty language or you're offended easily, probably not your thing. You have to. It helps a person who is easily offended to get over it because you'll be offended so much that you'll go, oh well, screw offense. You know, I'm not going to be offended anymore. Fuck this. You know, I'm just going to do my thing and be real. And I like real, and so I guess that's what I like about them is they're real. And that was kind of one of those crazy things I got to do that was fun and enjoyable and whatever. So what else going on in the world? Who's coming up here? What do you got going on, Steve? Seb?
What I like to always say, don't take offence, take a gate.
Say what?
What I like to always say is don't take offence, take a gate.
Oh, okay. That usually works better. Yeah, that's true. We're talking about leadership today. Let's get on topic, I guess, because PJ's probably like, why aren't you on topic? Get on topic. Anyway, so, and I never stay on topic very long. But so that's why I'm going to open up and let you guys do most of the talking through the remainder of the show. But I'm just I'm the clown in the beginning. So world leadership, as you know, we have a clown for a president to begin with here in this country. That's how I see it. I think we have elected a clown. We have elected the fool of the cards. I don't know which way he's going to go. I mean, there's certain things, by the way, that I have to say I agree with him on. There's other things I don't agree with him on. And the problem is he hasn't done anything. 100 days, and what did he accomplish? Nothing. I don't see it. I mean, and frankly, some of the things he has actually tried to accomplish or things he's done, like, for instance, okay, I don't know if any of you guys know this, but I am on therapy right now. I am getting rid of my Hep C. I'm started treatment. I'm on meds. I've got these meds, by the way, just so you know, here in America, for you guys that are living over in other countries and you don't understand that, you got socialist healthcare, which is great. I wish we had it. But what I've got is meds that actually cost, and I'm so glad that we have at least a semi-socialist system here. I do have to do 3 months of this stuff. It is $26,700 per 28-day supply. So about $1,000 a pill. And I have to do this for 90 days. And so if I were actually paying for this, that would suck. I'm not paying for this, thank God, because I have been, I'm poor enough that I have like the state insurance, and Oregon's insurance isn't too bad. But we actually have a compassionate state. In some states, it's not good. So it's important our leadership understand. I mean, here's where we start to get political. It's important our leadership understand that people like me might be in the middle of treatment, and if you do some kind of crazy shit to our insurance, like what you're doing right now, where you got the House already passed this new bill, I'm not too scared because I don't think the Senate's going to be dumb enough to do it. But the House passed this bill. President Trump, Trump's over there having a beer party, and everybody. I thought the bill passed according to the news. When I turned on the news and I saw them all having this big party about it, I thought, oh my God, they changed the health care bill. We're all going to die now. But no, that wasn't what happened. It just passed the House. So now it's got to go to the Senate, because our American system of justice is so fucking crazy. And then it could get rewritten there and then sent back it has to be then sent back to the House. This could take forever. So to change this Obamacare, which really, frankly, isn't bad for me because I'm poor.
James, I don't think Trump's all that bad. You know, I think one thing I like about Trump. Do you know what that is?
Go ahead.
Well, when he drops bombs on Syria, at least he's eating chocolate cake at the time. That says bundles to me about his character. Do you know what I mean?
He's so tuned out of what's going on that, I mean, let's face it, the guy tweets way too much. That's another thing. We've never had such a twittery president ever. I mean, when Obama was in there, he was at least wise enough to, like, we're gonna do this, okay, bye, and here's our president now with, like, oh, did you see the Kardashians? Ooh, bad. It's like he just and he's got to tell you at the end, he's got to say good or bad or ugly or what he thinks.
He's so characterless, though, wasn't he, Obama? He had no character, or you know what I mean?
I'm starting to miss Obama. I hate to say it because I was not a big Obama fan, but compared to what I'm seeing now and the uncertainty of the game, it's like going to it's like, if I'm going to go to a casino, 21's a little safer than like, roulette. I don't go play roulette, and we've got a roulette president. I liked either the poker or the 21 table president, where I knew where I kind of stood.
Yeah, I suppose so, but I like the character of Trump. I think he's got a lot more. He's got a lot more gumption, and he'll take on the enemy and blow them all to smithereens in true American fashion, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that's what I want. Yeah, war machine.
I think he's doing a great job, James, of showing you how incidental and insignificant.
Let me tell you this: I live here in Beaverton, Oregon. Right? It's like closer to the coast than Portland, very close to Portland in the suburbs. When those bombs from North Korea start dropping here, okay, you'll be laughing because I won't be your co-host. I'll be dead. I'll be dead.
I think he's doing a great job of showing everybody how insignificant a president really is. He's just a talking head, like a prime minister in other countries. Presidents he's just there. He's an illusionary thing to make people think they got some sort of.
We've got President Towley.
Yes, they got no choice. He's about as real as Theresa May was here, or whoever's going to get in next. It's just a whole complete scam. So he's making a good job of that in my eyes. That he's not really doing anything because he's not been put there to do absolutely.
I find myself more and more Here's the sick, twisted thing of all of this. I find myself laughing hysterically at things that I shouldn't laugh at. Like the whole Korean thing, North Korea, I should be like scared to death, right? I just find myself laughing. I'm like, the guy from Gangnam Style is gonna kill us all.
What is it with movies?
Oh, guy from Gangnam Style, yeah.
Can you hear me? I've been cut off 4 times. I've had to come back in 4 times.
Oh, I'm sorry, brother. I hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Welcome back.
Yeah, I think what we do then, James.
I've been cut off 4 times.
Nobody's deliberately cutting you off that I know of. It could be a connection issue.
It was running perfect until we started.
The Russians. Blame the Russians.
I don't know so much. They've been hammering me on Facebook and everything.
They're trying to kill us all. We're doomed.
But anyway, carry on, James, if you wish.
Yeah,
huh?
Should we move on, James? And
let's do it. Let's go.
Before I get cut off again.
Go for it, man. What do you guys to share with us? Go with it. What? First of all, tell us a little bit about who you are, what you're about, and then share.
Yeah, okay. Well, guys, I'm going to hand it over to Paul. Paul's got some articles he wants
guys, it's Black Hole Bridger here.
Go on, Paul. Away you go.
Yeah, well...
You got the floor, Paul.
I think his connection's a bit dodgy.
Yeah, there's something is connected, Paul. I don't think it's you, or of course now it could be something. You never know.
No, I think it's Paul's connection. He maybe got a lot of tabs open, and he's probably overloading his.
Now wait a minute. It could be the Illuminati reptilian, armada. We don't know.
One-eyed monsters, snakes. I don't know whether. Are you back yet, Paul? Can you hear us?
There he goes. I think close out a few of your. Of course, he's not hearing me right now. Probably. If you close out a few of your things, maybe there he is. He's back. There's Predator.
Right, I've had to reboot again. Are you hearing me now?
Yep. Go, man. Share away.
You might want to sign out of Skype.
Yeah.
Paul.
Well,
Yeah. Sign out of Skype. I don't know if that's going to work.
By the way, for those of you listening right now, you're listening to Axiom Flux Show 3, or actually Season 3, Show 14, here on this May 7th, 2017. And we're talking about one-eyed snakes and pyramid pajamas. and world leaders, but that's basically the same thing. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, while Paul's getting sorted out, because I think he might have... I don't run too much, just the hangouts, and that's about it here. Otherwise, I have trouble with my connections here. But well, until Paul can get sorted, let's just pass it around to Wes and Jeff. But just on the subject of leaders, well, I'm a political atheist. I don't believe in leaders. I think the world should be run by individuals, which is your own leader, which is yourself, with self-responsibility.
No, I don't believe I would make a very good leader, so I don't want to follow me.
Well, you have to follow yourself. Sure.
No. I want to follow somebody else. I'm tired of my self-leadership. It's too much responsibility.
Well, I'm sorry about that. Well, I say if I can send over a nice nanny for you, a nice English nanny. How's that, James?
Oh, a spot of tea would be lovely. With the crumpets, bring me the crumpets. You don't get quality crumpets here in America. No. I want it with baby blood and animals, because I'm the queen.
Yeah, well, let's pass it over to Wes. Let's pass it over to Wes, because I think Wes has got a few things to say about.
I found a little article for you here on YouTube, if you're up for it.
Sure.
Okay, yeah.
Okie doke.
Yeah, okay. Well, we can go to you first, Jeff, if you like, and then we'll put it over to Wes, because I think he said he can only be on for an hour, so I'd like to get whatever he wants to share in before he disappears. But if you want to go first with a YouTube article or video, you share it, and I'll share it to everybody. How's that?
Okie dokie. Well, on the subject of leadership, let me just get the screen share up.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah. Okie doke.
Oh man, Trippy!
Oh, it's all gone fine.
I shouldn't have done that, Alison, man.
Here you go. Can you see this?
Cool.
Oh yes, I know him. Yes.
Right, here you go. Have a listen to this interview that came out on the BBC quite a while ago. Alicia. Yeah.
It's going to fall pretty hard because markets are ruled right now by fear. Investors and the big money, the smart money. I'm talking about the big funds, the hedge funds, the institutions. They don't buy this rescue plan. They basically, they know the market is toast. They know the stock market is finished. The euro, as far as they're concerned, they don't really care. They're moving their money away to safer assets, like treasury bonds, 30-year bonds, and the US dollar. So it's not going to work.
We keep hearing that whatever the politicians are suggesting, and admittedly it's all been rather woolly so far, isn't right. Can you pin down exactly what would keep investors happy, make them feel more confident?
That's a tough one. Personally, it doesn't matter. See, I'm a trader. I don't really care about that kind of stuff. I go with if I see an opportunity to make money, I go with that. So for most traders, it's not about, we don't really care that much about having a fixed economy, having to fix the whole situation. Our job is to make money from it. And personally, I've been dreaming of this moment for 3 years. I have a confession, which is I go to bed every night. I dream of another recession. I dream of another moment like this. Why? Because people don't seem to maybe remember, but the 30s depression, the depression in the 30s, wasn't just about a market crash. There were some people who were prepared to make money from that crash. And I think anybody can do that. It isn't just for some people in the elite. Anybody can actually make money. It's an opportunity. When the market crashes, when the euro and the big stock markets crash, if you know what to do, if you have the right plan to set up, you can make a lot of money from this. For example, hedging strategies is one. Then investing in bonds, treasury bonds, that sort of stuff.
If you could see the people around me, jaws have collectively dropped at what you've just said. I mean, we appreciate your candor. However, it doesn't help the rest of us, does it? Or the rest of the Eurozone?
Say this, listen. I would say this to everybody who's watching this. This economic crisis is like a cancer. If you just wait and wait thinking this is going to go away, just like a cancer, it's going to grow and it's going to be too late. What I would say to everybody is get prepared. This is not a time right now to wishful thinking the government is going to sort things out. The governments don't rule the world. Goldman Sachs rules the world.
And at that point, I think I'll cut that off there. But basically what he's saying is that the governments don't rule things. The banks run the show. Goldman Sachs, well, he's one of them, Goldman Sachs. But of course, you've got the Rothschilds and all the rest. They're the real leaders. They're the ones that pull all the strings of the politicians, as most of us should know by now. But there you go. That basically says what everything.
Did you by chance see? I just became aware of this morning. Actually, I'd heard about it years ago, but it really stuck in my head. The Panama Papers. Are anybody familiar with that?
Yep.
You know,
Yes,
it's a pan.
yeah.
I still think they're doing that shifting of shit. I think that they're manipulating and keeping all these people who are wealthy, all their money outside of taxes and things. So none of these countries are really getting the money.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
No,
I mean, it's so clear that this is still going on, you know. So I think we need to go back and re-examine and say, what is today's companies that are doing this shadowy, traitorous? As far as I'm concerned, when they say traitors, I was like, was that traitor or traitors?
Well,
You know,
it is actually complete treason. No two ways about it. It's treason.
What I actually have been researching recently, because there's been a lot of cases up where I live near Manchester, where there's been a lot of people going missing. So I've been doing a lot of research into the history of Manchester, and it's home to the famous Midland Hotel, which was a famous cohort of Adolf Hitler. Now, my research has led me to believe, and it's backed by evidence, that Hitler is a descendant of the Rothschilds. Now, in the late 18th century and early 19th century, Mayer Rothschild, he actually became one of Europe's most powerful bankers, and he sent his third son, Nathan Mayer Rothschild, to England. Now, Nathan first settled in Manchester, and he established a business in finance and textile trading. And he was one of the founding members of the Zion Lodge in Manchester. He was a practicing Freemason. And in 1804, he moved to London. Now, he met up with the Cohen family, who were a wealthy Jewish family from Amsterdam. And the Cohen family were a respected merchant in London. Now, basically, what has happened is Nathan has worked his way through all the aristocracy, and it even goes right through to the battles with Napoleon, to the point where the English couldn't afford the military, so the Rothschilds backed England and then became in a predicament where they actually controlled the Bank of England. The more research you do into it and how it all originated in Manchester, and if you do the research into the inceptions of the stock exchanges and all the companies that are intertwined, and obviously all the recent work that's been done on Finchley Road and everything, of course they're using these shell companies.
all money leads back to a Rothschilds, it seems.
Yeah, as I was actually saying, It is all totally contrived, and that is why they are pushing us towards war, because war makes money for the Rothschilds and all their cohorts.
Well, and here in America, we make tons of money off war. Tons of money off war. War is an industry. We have the military-industrial complex.
Yeah, it's 1% of your GDP, which is a hell of a lot of money.
Well, what it was interesting what Wes said about his research. I've looked down the same line and gone back even more centuries than that, because the system that the Rothschilds, that the bankers, the Rothschilds, and the people before the Rothschilds, going back through the Tudor days, all the way back to medieval times.
Well, you can go back to the, actually you can go back further than that, because you can actually go back to some of the practices of the Babylonians and the Assyrians.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it's the same. It's the same.
Which was picked up by, if you wanted to bring into the Jewish people, when the priests, when they were taken down there during the Maccabean period. All right. You had all of this weird stuff going on where they were combining, you know, it was sort of like their religion was sort of combining with the Assyrian religion. It was sort of, it became polluted in a sense. And then they went back up and said, but this is our country up here. But it wasn't, because they ended up first in Khazaria. Yeah, I know the history of all that stuff.
Do you know when they brought their Talmudic, if you like, Pharisee money lending into England? Do you know when they done that, James?
Specifically year. I was never good with years. So I know actually, process, or I can tell you the sequence, but
the money changing Pharisee and Talmudic Babylonian monetary system was brought only in England. It gets exported to your country across the Atlantic. It was 1066, and William the Conqueror brought it across with the sanctions from Pope. He was given the Pope's blessing, and he brought the Jewish moneylenders over with him when he conquered England in 1066. That's when the Jewish monetary shita, commercial shita, or star, as they like to call it, under their own money lending scheme. Incidentally, they can't do to one another, but they can do to the foreigners, which are what you would term Gentiles, right? That came in in 1066, and it was brought over because Anglo-Saxon England, before the Normans came, were ruled by common law, which bound Celtic, British, Germanic, and Danish laws all brought together, but enshrined with the spirit of Christianity. And in those Christian days, usury was forbidden.
Yes.
What's really weird today is that most of our religious beliefs and everything, if we go back, our secret societies, all of this stuff, can easily be followed back to what we would call the Talmud and the Zohar. And the Zohar is what we use today, in essence, for Kabbalistic teaching, which is all part of the Masonic order and all part of, you know, the Zionist movement. It's all of that is encompassed in all of that.
Well, that's right. But you see, the thing is, a lot of academics, and I've had it, so they said, but 150 years later, they actually banished the Jews. Edward I did. No, he didn't really banish them. He actually incorporated into what they term English law the Statute of Merchants. Right, that actually brought the Jewish money lending into English law, and then he got rid of the Jews, of course, because he could run the game himself now of money lending. There you go. And that the commercial shita today, you would know everybody as a mortgage, and that's how it came into England. And then from England and the empire and the rest of it, it got spread to the west of the world, Western democratic countries, as we call it, like the US of A.
Well, when you look at the spread of the religious conviction, you look also at the spread of the economic system. So what you're seeing is you can watch both, and they're happening simultaneously.
Yeah. So that's right. So I mean, I done my research like Wesley's done back to the Rothschilds. I took it back to when this unlawful, it is unlawful under English common law, if you're a Christian, it doesn't matter if you don't believe in religion at all. That's part of common law, and actually part of American common law too, because wait,
we here in America, we're here. We're a Christian nation. We were founded. Jesus Christ himself came over here on the Mayflower back in 1776, and he signed them their Declaration of Independence along there with that John who had a problem with his cock. And
I managed to get back in, guys.
What?
Yeah. So anyway,
I seem to be stable now after 6 attempts of coming back in.
Well, let's do it, man. What do you got to share? Go.
Well, as we now actually, I've been listening. I've been able to listen to what's been said. So now we've realised who is leading the countries all over the world, and all the wars are contrived, and they're contrived for money. And the biggest part of that is the military. And it also goes back from the Rothschilds with the Hessians and the making money from both sides of the conflict. And this is how they do it. And this is how they keep their power base going, and it keeps it financed. And they rule in every country. Without a doubt, they rule in every country, and they tell their politicians what is to be done. And the latest thing that's going on is a so-called charity in England, but it is also in America, called Common Purpose. And it's a charity political organisation. Mm-hmm. And they actually are in every country. They were also, they are actually now in Libya. And I'd like to show you something here about Boris Johnson visiting Libya. Boris Johnson throws his weight behind Libyan peace process. Well, of course they do now, because they want to run it. Yes. And this is what Boris Johnson said on the 4th of May. He said, establishing effective governance is also the key to defeating, whereas I reckon he means defending, terrorism in Libya and counting illegal migration. And he don't want to count illegal migration, because what is going on in Libya at the moment, migrants from West Africa being sold in Libyan slave markets. This is out in the open. They are doing this out in the open. Now, this is a form of terrorism. So they're speaking out of their back orifices.
Absolutely. Well, agree more, mate. They've been at it for ages now. Everything they do is to destabilise countries deliberately. It's all.
Yes, exactly. And the BBC are a big part of this. BBC World Action is a big part of it. They go into the countries. They start creating blinking destabilisation amongst the people that will work with them. I forget her name now, but there was a lady that was actually there, and she actually told it. I can find it at a later date to back up what I'm saying, but she actually said we will find those that will work with us to bring down the governments.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is what's happening, and it's happening worldwide, and this is what is happening in Syria at the moment.
Well, over here we've got Common Purpose over here in the UK, and in the UK their job is to run local government. They've set it up so that Common Purpose is infiltrated. It's like the fifth column, basically.
Yeah. And they're holding secret meetings behind closed doors, where in a council it belongs to the people.
Exactly. Well, we've got the Bilderbergs running central.
Well, you think you're part of a common purpose? Come on, man. The people, part of a common purpose, really?
No, only
the elites get the common purpose, baby. Only the elites.
Yes, but that is the common purpose.
It's a political charity,
and they are working in American government also, because that is where Julia Middleton first got the idea, and then she got EU backing for it, money from the EU to set it off in England also.
That's how
And
that's how it's set up to run, Paul. We've got the Bilderbergs running central government, and then we've got Common Purpose have been put in to run local government, and they're like the foot soldiers of the Bilderbergs, if you like. That's the way they sort of set up, and they disrupt everything. Common Purpose are put in like the national health to destroy it from within, so that they can come in and mop up with, like, you know, on the pound. That's the way it's all been.
Yeah, and this is exactly what happened in Germany in the 30s to the Second World War. Exactly the same. It's happening. They use the same blueprint over and over again, and this is why we can tell what they're up to. But the people with their eyes shut and the people that don't know the history have not got a clue. And as I say, the military-industrial complex is a big part of their money supply.
Absolutely, always has been. We were warned about that here in our country by Kennedy and by Ike. You know.
I think the biggest financial incentive for these evil bastards, is the only way I can describe them, is the abuse and the death and the
and it's all part of their social engineering, and it's what is known as sulfate acoagula. It means to break it down to rebuild it how they want it, and it's also ordo ab chaos, which is order out of chaos. And the connection between war and religion is used as an excuse for them to divide and rule.
And I just think
it comes down to the satanic sacrifices also, because they feed off the energy of people's fear in war. And Wesley, would you like to take it on from here about the sacrificing in war?
Well, yeah, I mean, basically, it's something that not many people hear, or many people put to the back of their mind because they don't want to hear it. But I think it's something that people should just think about. Now, I'm not here to project anything onto anyone and to give them my opinion, but I just want them to question their own thoughts and question what's actually going on with the media propaganda surrounding Brexit. Now, we've got a European Parliament that is currently investigating the United Kingdom Corporation for epidemic levels of child abuse and forced adoption. And obviously, they want to leave this European Parliament that is investigating them. I just want everyone, I'm not sure if it'll work because it's the first time I've ever used Google Hangouts, but I just want everyone to watch this.
I've got it.
So I'm very, very, very tempted to respond to everything I've heard so far, which was shocking in terms of the Commission, as far as I'm concerned, because we are here with a large delegation of people, and I am speaking on behalf of 1,000 children taken a month in the UK. 90.
Please respect the committee. Do not applaud.
I'm sorry, the F5 button doesn't work. Oh, yes, it does. 100,000 children a month and 90,000 or 100,000 children a month are too much. When are individual cases too much? When is pain too much? I can assure you, I've seen enough individual cases, and there are at least one Belgian journalist who has seen enough individual cases, and there is one journalist, Christopher Booker, who writes regularly about individual cases. But nothing changes, and nothing has changed in the UK. That's why we are here today. We are here crying for help. There are children screaming to be heard. If you don't hear those children scream, who will? Only the United Nations. That has to be our next step. What are you living if you only preach those wonderful laws? It is exactly the gap that Mrs. Januka has spelled out, the gap between the judiciary and the enforcement. If painting is done, somebody comes and checks whether the paint is done properly. You better check whether the children are kept in their best interest in the social services in the UK. The best interest is they are taken for emotional risk, future emotional risk. And then what happens to them? It is just too much. I can only tell you that. It is a shock therapy that I have gone through over the years. And I'm supposed to convey that in 3 or 5 minutes now. With 32 families sitting there, I have considered one case as the worst one, where the parents are sitting in prison for 7 years. I visited them in prison. They are amongst 200 who are taken into prison a year. That's what we are facing. John Hemming is the only MP who stands up regularly. What has his activity changed? Nothing. We are here to expect change. Because what's unique in the UK has been mentioned already. Parents are threatened with imprisonment. They are all intimidated. They don't dare to speak out, because if they do, they land up in prison. 200 a year already in 2006. Forced adoption. Ian Josephs is the veteran. He's been watching this case since these problems since the 60s. He still gets 6 to 10 calls a day. He is safe because he's in Monaco. He's beyond UK jurisdiction. He calls it punishment without crime. So I republished his website with exactly that phrase. That's exactly what's happened. What's happening? The children are punished and the parents are punished. I'm not so interested in all of these private custody issues either. I'm interested in the systemic, institutional abuse of children and parents, which is an undermining of society. That's what's happening in the UK. And I'm saying that as a German who doesn't have children, who doesn't have grandchildren, but knowing what I know and not to act on it would be against my conscience. These people don't seem to have a conscience. That's what's happening. That's what we are up against. And I thank you for the sympathy with the mother, but I want you to act on your conscience and with your feelings, please. I happen to be half Slavic. The censorship of contacts is the most cruel thing. That's what's happening to children. We've got with us the Portuguese family whose 5 children have been taken. They can't be speaking in Portuguese. It is too much to describe each and all of the problems. That's what I'm telling you. So I had to see, I am a system analyst. I try to find the patterns that connect. I'm here with people from Wales. They have seen it more closely than we can in London. It is too much to believe. I don't blame you if you as the committee can't take it either and don't believe it. It is too unbelievable what is going on. You cannot imagine that that's happening in a Western country, the UK with its wonderful image.
Thank you so much. We are not that unaware of it. But there is this legal gap that we are dealing with, and we have to complete it.
It's a big gap, I'm afraid.
And this is a destruction of the European idea. I completely agree with you.
It is absolutely too much. Thank
you so much. Oh yes, I would like to complete this first circle of. Oh no, sorry.
Yeah, please. She hasn't finished.
I thought I had 5 minutes, and I'm sorry I didn't look at the time, but I would like you to mind the traps between the institutions. We are here in a battle for Britain's children, and that includes all of the children from all of the countries that are in Britain, kept and held by the authorities. We hope for a special investigation. That's our request, and I hope you hear our cries for help. Thank you.
So yeah, basically that is Sabine McNeil, and she has been over in England. She's now in London, and she's working on a, just bear with me one sec, let me turn this off. She's working on a particular case where 2 children in Hampstead in London have described Luciferian or satanic rituals where their father, Ricky Dearman, who is in the entertainment industry, also members of social services, the local authority, the school, the local vicar, and police. And these 2 children have been on holiday with their mother and their mother's partner, and they've detailed, these are really, really young children. You can find this on YouTube just by typing in Hampstead children. And you can literally listen. You can see the conviction in their eyes while they are saying what they are saying.
It's not just the conviction. Sorry, butting in before I get cut off again. How does 2 children of that young age know exactly what has been going on and explains exactly what's going on? And it's been documented time and time and time again with no connection between the victims.
I'm going to debunk every person that says this is a hoax. There is NHS medical evidence to prove that the children were anally scarred.
Yeah. My really grits me about this. Why do they not get the people that they're accusing and get them medically checked for what the children said they had on their private parts?
Birthmarks.
Exactly.
Tattoos.
And that will beyond all doubt. But no.
What I've seen,
they're edging around it, they're debunking it and everything, which really shows there is a real.
Now, this is one reason why I was a bit apprehensive about coming on the show tonight, because I didn't want to ruin your reputation. I'm currently, since this case started, I'm one of about less than 10 researchers that working on this case. Now, ever since I have worked on this, I know when I crack this, I'm opening the biggest can of worms in the British establishment ever. Yeah. Now, I've been working on this since I saw those videos of those children, because I saw those videos and I believed them children. Now, ever since, I've worked on this non-stop in every spare moment of my time, and there is a website called Hoaxted, which is trying to chastise what the children are saying, and that particular person that's running that page is putting out loads of bullshit about me. And I just thought, if I come on this show tonight, they're gonna get trolled, and it's not good for them. But do you know what? I'm not scared of anything anymore. We need to talk about this. The actual BBC, the people that covered up for fucking Rolf Harris that's out in 6 weeks, and Savile and all these other motherfuckers, these corporations that have hidden and created this propaganda, they've actually done an interview with the father that's been accused of abusing, that's actually abused the children, yet the police haven't interviewed him. What the fuck's going on?
In my eyes, those that are hiding it and sticking up for these sick pedos are just as guilty as the pedos that are actually committing it.
I don't think they're pedos. Pedos are people that love children. These are actually
satanic.
Yeah, they're evil people. And I think when we label it as satanic, that's when they try and label us as everything. I just think if we just say that it's evil, that they're higher echelons, and that they're in orchestrated structures of power in our society, then we cannot be called tinfoil hatters. We need to just work with facts. And the facts are that those children were abused, and we need to scream out until they get justice.
Well, what I've noticed, I've seen a couple of instances where they've taken babies away from parents as soon as they're born. Soon as basically
this is the thing that puts this is the thing that questions.
The thing with that though is that they can't actually speak at that age, so they don't even get to say anything.
Exactly, you know, but just listen to this theory that I've got, and it is a theory, so I can't prove it. But just I want you to question this. say hypothetically a young mother from an area like mine, a really deprived area, single mum, and she's not lost her children because she's a bad parent. She's lost her children because a boyfriend beats her up, and the social services think there's a threat there, so they keep coming and taking her children. Now, what if this girl keeps having children with this guy, and the social services keep coming and taking them children? Now, 18 years later, when she wants to see those children and the forced adoption's gone through and everything, and she's trying to make contact, who's to say that these children are even alive anymore?
Yeah, it's a disgraceful set of circumstances, you know. I've seen all sorts of things to do with this myself online, and different things. But I think most of the majority of these things is they take them for the profits that are in it, because
going back to like ancient times and stuff. My research in Manchester, the reason why I'm going into this is because I think there's serious parallels between an old ancient religion called Mithraism and modern day Freemasonry. Now,
yeah, Wes, can I just interject a little bit, just very quickly?
Of course.
Sure. Well, it's big. One thing is, right, there is, you know, that it's all been broken open now with the BBC, Savile, and everything. It's mainstream. If you're not switched off, then you know everybody knows about what's been going on. It's not just here. It's bad here, as bad as anywhere else. It's the same in the USA.
Definitely.
Boys Town. James will tell you about the Boys Town.
Well, just to Google Corey Feldman and Hollywood, and you'll see the pedophilia
I've been speaking to Corey because in Manchester, one of my very good friends, he set up a group that's against male abuse, and it's called Shatterboys UK. Now,
Would you hook me up with Corey? I want to talk to Corey. I like Corey.
He speaks direct on Twitter. Honestly, he's really good on Twitter.
Yeah, I would like to talk with him personally. I admire him as an artist also, because I see, you know, even though he sort of like came out and he tried something new on a show and it kind of backfired on him, and
the people don't understand how prevalent this is because they are gagged.
Yes. Well, this is what I'm saying about people like Corey. I feel that Corey's isolated and he's being ridiculed in America. He needs support. He needs He needs people to surround him.
He's in danger at all because the guy who was his offender is still a Hollywood exec. Okay, the guy who basically got him into all the drugs and all the shit, the things that happened to Corey, from what I understand, are pretty sick.
The point I was going to make was that apparently, if you adopt a child now in the UK, you get about, I think it's about £400 per.
Yeah, this is how they're perpetuating it, because both sides, both the adopter. Now, we're not saying that all people who adopt are bad people. There's loads of good people out there that adopt him, but the financial incentive's there, so obviously people are more likely to do.
Expensive, because if you think about it, I mean, £400 per child. Have 3 kids.
Actually, guys, as soon as a child is taken from his parents, that child's worth is £70,000.
Yep.
It's £25,000 a pop for a placement for an adoption agency. One child per placement.
And then, as well as that, there's a financial incentive for the actual social worker to get the child in the first place.
It's all the way down the line, isn't it? That's the thing. I mean, at the end, you've got the person who adopts that gets about 400 quid a week, and you've got the people above them that make something out. They're all making a cut out of it, aren't they?
And you know what really upsets me is that they take people in from students. Say, for instance, let's look at my area, Lancashire. They'll take people in who've been studying social care for the past 3 years. Really, really nice people who just want to help children. Now, when they go into their role, again, it's like Nuremberg, the flipping Nazis. These people are having to make decisions like the police and like so other many people in public office that they don't agree with.
Well, within an hour of my cousin's wife giving birth to the child in hospital, They came and take her baby away from her within an hour.
That's crazy.
Has everybody on here watched Traffic?
No.
Yes, I've got DVD.
Yeah, if you haven't,
I'm in the US. I don't see stuff like that.
you can get it on Amazon. Just look for Traffic 1 and Traffic 2.
I don't pay for Amazon.
Right. Well, if you don't pay for Amazon, go on to Anon UK TV and it's on there.
Oh, okay. I think I may have seen. It's an older series.
No, it's just the first one. It's an initial documentary that was banned in the UK about all the social workers, and literally we've only got, and he's not even an MP anymore. We had John Hemming, and he was the only MP out of like 360 odd constituencies or 650 or whatever, and he was the only one that was screaming out about forced adoption.
Yeah, James, you're in America.
Yeah.
Get your pen and paper out. Write down detestablefilm.com, and it's all about satanic ritual abuse.
And another one that you definitely need to look at with the UK link is Russell's Savile in the Ninth Circle. Just go on. Go on to YouTube, Savile in the Ninth Circle, and it shows.
Let me make something clear, okay? I'm very aware, and there's personal reasons for this having to do with some family situations that are even now still very touchy, because there's a court case dealing with a family member.
Sorry, I don't want to trigger.
And so it's
I gave you that web address so you can give it to other people.
Right. No, I can't personally even watch anything about.
Yeah, don't.
It just makes me sick to know that.
Well, can I just ask you, if you are on Facebook, just connect with a lady called Chris Tuck. Now she's working on the independent inquiry here on the UK, not on the government side, but here for the people. She is working on a network of peer-to-peer support for survivors. So please.
Is that the Fresh Start Foundation?
Oh no, I want to encourage everybody here who's.
Yeah, I'm not sure of her organisation, but she's called Chris Tuck. She's on Facebook and she's working with the Independent Inquiry and the Truth Project.
Yeah, support's important for those people out there who are victims of any kind of child abuse. Very important. You get any kind. You may think I don't need therapy. Let me tell you something. You do. You need some kind of at least circle of communication, because you've gone through an experience that's traumatic and it's created post-traumatic stress disorder in you. So I want to encourage people.
It actually rips their psyche and ripples all the way through their adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
And you never forget about
it can be passed on. Oftentimes, this is something I found out in going through and having to deal with something within my own family. Not me personally. I mean, I'm not in trouble personally. I'm not guilty of anything. I don't want to give that projection. But there's very close family relations I can't talk about because the case is still pending. But in which it's abuse, compounded abuse. So a person who was abused became an abuser, and so the victim then becomes a victimizer. And
the whole thing is symptomatic, in my opinion, is symptomatic of the monetary system, because whenever you've got a monetary system, no matter what it is, I mean, look at the prisons in the USA. I swear to God, they fill them up so that they can put prisoners on.
Well, and that's another topic, by the way, that I know we're going to deal. I've got a special guest. I'm going to bring on here when we're going to talk about very specifically that topic.
I'm just discussing what I'm trying to say is, I mean, any system that becomes privatized and for profit, whether it be the prisons making them work 23 cents an hour, or whether it, any
system. Exactly.
To the monetary system. If we could get rid of the monetary system and go over to a resource-based society, all these systemic problems would disappear.
You're definitely right. Like we was talking earlier on, it's all about the blockchain.
Yeah.
It's about decentralization. It's about taking the power away from these bastards. And it's about us utilizing and actually not profiting, but actually getting some form of reward for our energy. Like we was having the conversation.
Support systems. You got to have support systems in place that you can have other people that work You know what I'm saying? You've got to cooperate on these processes. So when you get these other people in, they have a place to go. Because if you like take them somewhere, I remember there was a thing here recently. I think some Ja Rules had this concert on some island, and all these rich kids went there, and there was like no resources, and they like gave them a cheese sandwich. It was really.
Yeah, the actual victim survivors are the lucky ones. They're not lucky, but they actually still got their lives. A lot of these are losing their lives. They are having their lives taken away from them.
Yeah, but you got to have support systems to put them in, though. That's all I'm saying.
The blockchain can be your support system. It will be, because if you understand the blockchain, and this, I only got into this last year. I didn't understand what blockchain. I'm sure Wes will agree with me. It's about us doing it for us. You don't want leaders. You don't want governments. You don't.
And everything's transparent. That's what the beauty of the blockchain is.
You've got to do it, James.
To be honest,
on anybody else. People have to do it.
My attitude has gone way beyond any form of money now. I'm sort of, I've looked into the Ubuntu contributionism thing, and I think that is the way forward.
Do you know what? I've been looking recently because I need a break, and I thought the way that I am just like this little activist, I just want to have a break by helping someone else. So I've found this website, and it's an amazing website, and it's called workaway.info. And you go on there and you literally share your energy. So you go over there, like I can say I'm good at film editing, I'm good at coding in certain languages, I can do security, I can do web design, I can do animation, I can do photography, and then they will actually give you your accommodation, your food in return for that in any country that you want. It's like bizarre. You can go and work on someone else's community project and exchange your energy for free food and free accommodation. It's beautiful.
And that's a form of contributionism in itself.
I have a great job for you. Come over. I need somebody to bury the bodies.
Oh.
So come on over. Great job. Body burying. Just gotta have a good back. Gotta have a good back.
But whatever it is, it's got to be us. You can't. There's no leaders.
And I think the huge like headlock over society is energy. And I think if everybody becomes self-sustainable and researches other technologies like HHO, where you can displace hydrogen from water and power your entire central heating system off hydrogen, and like wind power and solar and all these other sources that you can get a kit for your house with a few gel batteries for less than £5,000, and that will do you for the next 20 years or even 50 years. It's bizarre.
Well, they've already sort of almost mastered nuclear fusion now. They reckon that they should be able to get it up and running with a mere software upgrade or something.
I'm working on spark power. I think that'll be revolutionary when it comes along.
And that's all good, guys, but it's got to come from us. We've got to stop. I think at the end of the day, we all know you can wait for centuries. No man's going to come along with a magic wand and a leader's going to appear and all this bullshit. It's down to us. Anyway, James, look, do you want to bring your guest in? I think he was there, wasn't he?
No. I don't have a guest today. I have a guest at another time. Do I have a...
Oh, I beg your pardon. Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah,
it's okay. No, it's all right. I wish I had my guest today, but at the same time, she'll be an interesting guest. She actually comes from a very famous family, and she'll reveal that if she wants. But she's got a really interesting story, and she fights the system by fighting basically this idea of mandatory sentencing, which can be very unfair and also be used to keep people in prisons for long periods of time, to use them for this cheap labor force that we're going to need once we kick all the Mexicans out.
We had somebody pop in a minute ago there, staff, called Mark, but he seems to have disappeared rather promptly.
Sorry, I got the wrong end of the stick. I thought it might have been James's guest, but
don't got one.
No. Well, listen. I think the reason why there's many reasons why the the prison centre, the prisons over in Uncle Sam's, whatever you want to call it, as expanded. You've got that 3 strikes and you're out rule, haven't you?
Well, that's all. It's all state done. Each state has their own mandatory sentencing laws, and here in the in Oregon, where I live, we have what's called Measure 11, and Measure 11 is this: if you do this crime, if you're determined you did that crime, you mandatorily do this amount of time, and it's usually somewhere around 25 years, which it's wonderful if you have, like, I mean, like, if it's provable that you actually, just violently and with malice aforethought killed someone, and you were, a violent criminal with, real hard potential of ever getting back into society, I could understand having, a long sentence. But there are some people who get convicted of crimes like,
they're not matching applicable with
circumstances.
They're not matching applicable with non-applicable, are they?
You can't black or white a crime. You can't say this many years for this crime, because there are extenuating circumstances that sometimes need to be taken into consideration, and those are the things that are keeping people in at least in Oregon, high rate of prison. And realize this: we in the United States here have the highest rate. We got you guys so beat on a per capita.
Not the trouble is with the prison industrial complex. Most of the senators have got shares in them, so the more they can keep the prisoners in, the more profits the senators are going to get.
Absolutely, and they absolutely need to keep those people in there, because that's money, brother.
We're down to financial incentives there again, you say, and this is the systemic problem we've got with all these industries. They're all open for abuse for the sake of profits. So money is not the answer, in my opinion. I think contributionism.
No, capitalism is the way, the truth, the light. Oh wait, no, it's Jesus. Okay, no, I'm sorry. I'll be back.
No, I think money's served its purpose. It's created our infrastructure now. We've got the ability to live our lives with abundance. We've got massive agriculture and everything else, and it can all be, things can all be done in a more ethical way now. Like, for example, going back to agriculture, we could go over to sort of a permaculture type system where everything's organic. Nothing's done for mass produce for the sake of, quick profits and things. And we can reform all these industries without money. It can all be done sustainably and ethically. This is what we need.
Well,
money.
I think you're talking about specifically something like Ubuntu with Michael Tellinger, aren't you, Jeff?
Well, not necessarily that. There's also the Venus Project, which is to do with resource-based society. The solutions we need for the problems are technical solutions,
Well,
they are technical, and I think they are legal as well. Yeah, they're legal as well. And one woman, if we're talking about leaders and rulers, and a different idea of leading and ruling, is the Icelandic Pirate Party. Now, I love Birgitta Jónsdóttir, who has an idea where there is no leader for the Icelandic Pirate Party. There is a series of roles, and those roles are rotated with a circle of leadership and a circle of rulership, and everybody has power. And this is one idea that I think that a lot of countries should look on. I know it's only a small country, but what's happened since the 2008 financial crash in Iceland is somewhat definitely revolutionary. These grassroots activists that were poets, hackers, and people who are from the grassroots, these have actually like transitioned into politicians that definitely don't want to be politicians. They're now in their position saying, look, we don't want to be here. We've got a mission. And when that mission objective is completed, we're going to walk away from this. And the thing that I love that Birgitta's doing is her working around all the different countries, looking in their constitutions and in their laws of common law, and looking for sustainable law that protects the environment, protects the people, and protects every single living being. It's just,
Well, the laws of love and compassion come to mind for me because that's my thing. I mean, if people could perfectly live the laws of love and compassion, of understanding and those things that come along with that, which, by the way, are huge responsibilities, are not easy, and it's very hard to constantly be a loving and kind person. I know because I have a dark side too, and I know what I could do if I were an evil mutant freak. But
this is why I say that most people should look to Iceland, because I don't know how, and this is why we need to research it, because
it's too cold.
They seem to have amalgamated the whole right wing, the left wing, the anarchists, even the police are joining the pirate party. The whole thing's bizarre. We need to look at how they have done it.
Look how the mainstream media kept quiet about Iceland and how well they're doing.
Of course.
I want to join the dead parrot party.
But I think that there is certain tools, and I think there's only certain things that we can do by projecting information and doing protests and things. I think the only way that they have actually created change is by actually getting inside the system and tearing it a new arsehole.
Yeah, but whilst we've got a satanic front working in the governments, which they are,
then we can do as much. The more research we do, and the more like shows like this that we do, the more listeners we have, the more people we project to, the more people start doing research, and this starts to be like an amoeba in a petri dish. You just type in the word Pizzagate in Twitter. This people are taking this seriously now.
Can I say that the best truth is that truth which spreads by itself, and it spreads to the right people. I've always felt you only need two people. You only need to influence two people to take, and they in turn will indeed influence two others. So eventually we reach around the world. And it only takes like 6 generations of people before we've really touched everybody with the message. Now, does everybody get it? No, they won't. Most won't.
Can I just share this with you for it's only a quick video. You might find this interesting. Hang on a sec, if I get it up quickly.
You're supposed to be ready.
Here we go.
Some of the most generous people I know have no money. And that's how it should be. When we have no money, it's a different lifestyle. When you see the old people, there's no, in our language, we have no such word as please or thank you, because it is what is expected of us is that we share and we give what we have. Today, we have to say please, we have to say thank you, we have to beg for things. In the old days, it was just a giving thing that we would share things. That was a part of who we are. And not only for Aboriginal people, I expect people all around the world would do the same things before money. But nowadays, it's mine. There are words like mine. We don't share our things anymore. And it's become, it kills us as human beings, as a society, as a race. When I say race, I'm talking about the human race. But we deny other people shelter, we deny other people food, we deny other people their survival purely because of money.
100%, mate. That's what I've taught, man. The root of all evil.
Yeah, it says there's more than enough food, water, and land for all.
No, money isn't the root of all evil. It's the love of money.
The love of money is correct. It's not money itself. Money is an irrelevant thing, really. It's just, it's paper, it's metal.
Listen to this last slogan here on the end. It said there's more than enough food, water, and land for all of us to be free, but money is used to impose artificial scarcity, create division, and force people into lives of servitude to the ruling class. And that was a quote by Gavin Nascimento. So to me, that says everything, you know.
Well, if it was just used as a method of equal trade for something where we knew what the base was and it wasn't set by some key group, I could understand its use. Like, if you, like for instance, I don't want to haul around a whole bunch of cows and chickens and go, how many chickens for that today? You know, I need to be able to write something down. So I at least need some kind of checking system where I can go, okay, I'll give you 6 chickens for that loaf of bread, you know. But on that, what really amounts to is the manipulation of the money, and what we've given that over is to the big banking cartels, which are all become criminal by taking and doing usury, which is against the very religion most of those cartels claim to believe in. So it's crazy.
Yeah, well, it stopped being a medium for exchange of goods many years ago when the money lenders came in on the scene, as we know, James. And this is the problem. You have you know, with these banks with investments as financial tools, and where the stock market or whatever has got nothing to do with countries' economies. Nothing. It's a separate thing.
Well, but wait. It does have to do with it because psychologically people allow it to. If we see the stock market dropping, people freak out. Go get gold. Sell. It can actually be self-fulfilling.
Well, that's why it's manipulated.
Exactly.
Can I just interject with not a permanent solution, but a temporary solution that we can grip hold of now while it's available?
Not bees, right? Okay.
No, it's nothing bad. It's like, this is international. Now, written into all our constitutions, all our common law is a tool that the common people can actually take the power back. And I've only just recently learned this. Now, over the past, say, 3-4 years, I've been in the media for squatting in some prominent buildings. For instance, I occupied Manchester Town Hall. I took the Stock Exchange. I took all the Grade 2 listed buildings in Manchester, and we occupied those, and we took these through the courts using common law, and we housed hundreds and hundreds of homeless people, and we saved quite a lot of lives. Now,
that's what we should be doing. That's
just temporary. Now, listen to this one. This is what's beautiful. Now, I always thought the Law Society was a set of cunts that were against us, but there are some people that have learnt law, that have got ethics and have got a heart, and they're with us. Now, my barrister, he actually stood up for me against all the entities, all the town hall, all the Masons in Manchester, and he run my case pro bono, and I won my case, and I was found not guilty. Basically, they were trying to insinuate that I'd organised a violent protest. Well, there was no violence. They just wanted to put it into the media that these protests were violent and homeless people were violent, so they could take them out of the city centre. Now, I won my case, and this barrister turned around to me and he said, "Wesley, why are you fucking about going in front of the media and telling these people where you are?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "I want you to look into common law. I want you to read some land law. And I want you to look into a term called adverse possession." Now, adverse possession in common law, you think about it now, all these oligarchs, all these hierarchy, all these higher echelons, they're all land banking like a big, huge game of Monopoly. They've got all these huge, prominent buildings, but they're empty all over the country. There's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of empty buildings. Now, since I've been squatting and I've been in the public eye, yeah, it's been good for PR, and yeah, it got us a lot of sleeping bags and it got us tins of soup and everything, but my barrister taught me that adverse possession literally means if you have factual possession of these properties and you register these with land law, with land registry, and you can keep hold of these for 10 years, then they're yours.
Yeah, it's 10 years. It's 10 years if they're registered, or 12
years. 10 years if they're registered, 12 years if they're not. So if you can corroborate this with loads of statement of truth, neighbours around it, and you can actually get in there and you can fabricate and you can weld the doors together and all the windows, you can keep hold of these buildings. These are yours. These are for the taking.
Yeah, they originally started with unregistered properties, but now they've applied it to registered properties as well. Like I say, we've got to be able to. This is what they do. The reason they give the time of 10 and 12 years is so that if anybody comes forward and says, "Well, wait a minute, this was my property," or or this is property I left for somebody else, or something like that. then
Depending on what
the
country
same,
you're in.
it's the same with land. It's exactly the same with land under common law.
Well, they're saying common law that land is our greatest commodity. Yeah. You can build on it, you can live on it, you can work on it, you can sleep on it. So basically, if somebody is stupid enough to I mean, it's different in different countries. In the UK, it's 10 to 12 years. In different countries, some countries, it's only 2 to 4 years. Now, if someone's stupid enough to leave some land unattended and not used, then someone else goes to it and shows factual possession just by putting a fence around it and trimming the grass. Then they document it with photographs or Google Street View or whatever, then they can get it.
Well, listen, I know a friend of mine. His family were Romany people, Gypsy people, and they stayed on this land for 7 years. 7 years down here. It was a little bit different. It was a few years ago, right? And they never got moved, and they claimed the land, and now they have property. They have scrap yards.
Well, just to speak hypothetically, and I'm not trying to incite fraud, but Google Street View goes back to 2008. Next year is 2018. That's 10 years of photographic evidence. If you can get 4 or 5 people to back that up with statements of truth, the land registry can't contest it if it's unregistered land.
I think I've looked into adverse possession quite a bit, actually, James. But not James. Sorry, who was that? Who was speaking then?
Wayne, I believe.
Wesley. I've looked into that quite a bit. Adverse possession. I think it boils down to one thing: you never actually own land. That's the only reason that they can let that happen. Because what you actually are is a holder of the land. You become. It's like on the V5 document on your car. You're the keeper, not the owner. Yeah.
I mean, obviously the universe owns the land. It all goes down to like what I've been doing is go on land registry. It's £3 to do a search. So there's 2 particular types of bonding contract. There's a freehold and a leasehold. There's no actual owner. Nobody can own land.
That's right. You're a holder, effectively. And there's different types of land ownership. Well, what they call ownership is holdership, really. You've got fee simple, and you've got sovereign land. That's the highest form of land you can get is sovereign land.
Yeah, I mean, with the adverse possession, in order to possess any land that is deemed religious or state, you have to hold it for 30 years in the UK. So it's not even worthwhile. You may as well go on. The easiest way I would say for everyone to do in the UK is to do a £10 freedom of information request to your local council and ask for all the properties that have been empty for over 10 years. That does half of the work for you. And then you just
basically gone, Wesley, because you used to have sovereign land, and then you had allodial land, which was pretty much, yours. If you had allodial land, they had very little encumbrances on the land. Nowadays, you've got planning. You've got to get planning permission for this, planning permission off the council for that, and the best you can get sort of nowadays is freehold, which is still, it's all sorts of government.
I think instead of us talking about all these different social issues, I think we need to implement them in a constitution and just have it done like that. It saves so much time. We can, instead of trying to address each issue in Parliament, and we're just constantly having this game of ping pong with these Tories and all these Masons and all these Zionists and all these intricate higher echelons that are operating under a 3-line whip telling our MPs what to vote for. I think what we need to do is, as a nation, now that we're all like socially and politically aware with social media, we need to harness that, use the systems that the Pirate Party and everything use to create their constitution, and replicate that throughout the world.
Well, of course, in Iceland, they actually threw them all out, didn't they?
Well, they actually jailed the banksters that caused the 2008 crash.
Well, they threw out the government and jailed the bankers as well. So, I mean, we'd have to do that first before we could implement anything. And of course, but then you'd have to get past the police and everything, because the police will protect them, obviously. So,
well, just on record now, can I do the Rothschild Bank in Manchester first?
totally treasonous.
Yeah, what you're talking about, Wes and Jeff, and that they used to call it in olden days sovereignty. The sovereignty isn't a queen or a king or a politician.
Wasn't this all what Peterloo in Manchester was about?
Well, Wes, if you go back to the common law, which was brought together by this Alfred the Great in 871. Everybody who's born here as an Englishman, as it's written then, I don't know about the other issues with, immigration and British citizen, to leave all that crap aside, you were sovereign. You were sovereign as the Queen was. She was just, or the King. They were only head, right? You gave them the power to look after the land for you, the people. Everybody in this country of England, the land belongs to them. Every single one of us. That was the whole point of it all. That's what sovereignty really means. That's what it all.
For staff, they talk about parliamentary sovereignty and rabbit.
Exactly. I was told that the original Parliament went back and all these original MPs were all independents and they just represented their constituency.
Well, listen, there was no Parliament before Magna Carta 1215. So they can't repeal the 1215 Magna Carta because there was no Parliament. They weren't part of the parliamentary process. So you can never repeal.
But ever since they've been committing treason.
Yes, absolutely.
We've got a prime minister called Treason May.
Yeah.
Do you know what, Wes? The Magna Carta 1215 was a reaffirmation of the Charter of Liberties by Henry I, which was a reaffirmation of Edward the Confessor's common law, which was a reaffirmation of Alfred the Great's common law in 871, which brought everybody together, stop all killing each other, all the tribes and the Danes and the Saxons and the Britons and the Celts, all brought together under one common law, and that if you are sovereign as much as anybody else, and everything belongs to everybody.
Well, over here in America, we was given this here common law too, and that was in the Bible. And Jesus gave it to us when he signed the Declaration of Independence down there in that 1776 time. Back then, when
but you made a mistake, James.
I don't make many mistakes because I'm American.
you got an Englishman called Thomas Paine to write up your Constitution, and he wrote it all.
That was written by the hand of God Himself as He laid down the laws, and then came the amendments. The amendments were kind of irritation to the Lord God. John Hancock, I think, was his name.
God bless America.
And
I think what it meant.
God's favorite country in the whole everything.
Well, it's time you stood up like a man.
We is like God's lover. He just loves to slip it to us right there, out there in front of the other countries, so they get all jealous of us. They love our freedom. They dig on that freedom.
I didn't know you was a redneck, James.
I'm not James today. This is the spirit
Jesse.
of the neck of redness that comes upon us when we become glorified by America, and it shines. It's holy red, whites, and blues right down on us. And then we go down and get our food stamps. I got to go down and get my beer later, so you got to have them food stamps. You can trade them down. You can get like half the cash on a food stamp at the beer store at the bar.
But don't forget though, James, at the end of the day, MAGA.
America.
Oh, no, MAGA, make America great again.
Make America great again. That's it. Yep. Because we know here in America, we are the land of the freaks and the home of the pregnant women, because we take care of that without their abortion. We need to get rid of abortion.
You're going to go and get your beer along with your weed.
You get everything here in America. It doesn't come free though. It's hard living here in America, where the land of the free is, and the home of the brave. Play ball. That's the next thing. You gotta learn baseball when you come here. Ain't nothing like your cricket, which is a fag sport. You also got that fag football. And I say that with all due respect to them homosexual persons, because I wouldn't want to offend them and be politically incorrect to their faggy ways, because that would not be a way to be, you know.
Your footballers are fags compared to our rugby players.
No, I'm telling you right now that you guys don't understand nothing about them sports, because you all put on them prissy ass. You go to them Catholic schools too, where they all wear them outfits with them little funky ties, and we wear over here. We wear real American clothes. We wear suspenders and flannel shirts, because that's America.
Hey James, remember, if it's not a World Series unless it's in America.
By the way, what I'm just doing is practicing for how to get along in Trump's brave new world, because we're all going to be going back to the 80s now, and maybe I need to brush up on my Ronnie Reagan. Yeah, that's it. I need to get back to that again, because we're all going back to cheese rolls from the government. That'll be great. You don't get any money, just cheese. I remember the 80s because I got cheese. Big chunks of it. You got that big, huge, and it was good cheese. America gave away great cheese, just no food stamps, no real food, just cheese.
He liked a bit of Maggie, didn't he?
I did. Oh my God! But
He liked a bit of Maggie, didn't he? Apparently.
They all got along real well. Nancy and
along with their trickle down theory, never happens.
Trickle down. I never saw it. I didn't see a drop. Except for some cheese. I got cheese.
You got cheesed off.
I stood in line to get some cheese. It was great. Big block of it. America. Land of the free cheese.
Do you know one topic I think that we should talk about that not many people are aware about that actually won Trump his campaign?
What?
The piece of software called Nation Builder. So they're actually like harnessing people's metadata from social media, Twitter, Facebook, every
so they can tell you everything you want to hear.
Everything that they're putting on social media, they're just using against people. It's like, get off Facebook.
Yeah, fuck Facebook.
You realize, however, that this whole campaign confused America greatly, because a lot of people saw Trump, and it's like, even the people who voted for Trump is like, yeah, I voted for him, and what the fuck is he doing?
Well, the same parallel over here with UKIP, and I would say the same parallel over in France with Le Pen. It's like the right wing, the hard right wing, they're manipulating people's thoughts, feelings, and emotions from social media, harnessing that metadata, and then putting that into their transcript, into their speeches.
Do not speak against Zuckerberg. You will be destroyed. I'm sorry. What did I say?
Basically telling us what we want to hear just so that they can get elected.
Yeah. So like when Farage turned around and said that if we leave the EU, we're going to put so many billion into the NHS. And as soon as the vote's gone through, he's like, fuck the NHS, I'm gone.
I don't think he actually said that though, did he? I think what he actually said was, out of that 350 whatever it is billion or million a year or whatever, they could put it.
Right. Yes.
Where's how old are you? If you don't
34, 35 in July.
So you don't know the world without the EU, do you?
Well, I've only, to be totally honest, since I started my homeless project in the past 5 years, this is the only time I've endeavored into politics. I used to hate it. And now that I've understand that it controls us, I understand that I have to understand it.
Yeah, that's
well, you see, I'm old enough and ugly enough to remember well and truly. I was in my teenagers when they voted, allegedly voted to go into this thing called the EU. If you know what the EU is and how it was brought about and who brought it about and everything, it's just no different to what you've got with the corruption with the parliament. And everything's fucking same. You can tie Trump, you can tie all the Western.
Yeah. But the only thing that I'm thinking is like, only as a young guy that obviously doesn't know what it was like in them towns. It
was great. It was great. We got on. We done things. We had work. I'm not saying it killed work.
Maybe in your sphere of existence, but in my Mandela effect world, that didn't happen.
Well,
I love this guy.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so you won't remember the EU because you're American, see?
They don't teach us about you.
NAFTA instead.
What?
Yeah. What about NAFTA? Was that pretty naff, or is it naft to get rid of it, or do you have it? Is there such a thing as NAFTA?
Here in America, only if I imagine it to be.
Do you know what's worrying though, as a young person? Well, I'm not even that young, but do you know what's worrying is that at this moment in time, our government have to adhere to a certain set of like principles that are surrounding loads of these countries in Europe. But if this Brexit thing goes through, which it's likely to, then we are only as a like society, we're only then like under control of this country that's going to create more bills like the IP bill that's just going to eradicate privacy and all this like forced adoption. Everything's going to just get worse.
I'm afraid all the politicians are sucking the sorcerer's stick.
Definitely.
Yeah, all of them. It doesn't matter whether they're EU technocrats, dictators, whatever they are. They don't even get elected. They don't even get elected, for Christ's sakes. If you believe in
But what do you think about Corbyn then?
I don't believe any of them ways. I'm a political atheist. They're all a bunch. They're all pigs in a trough, mate. That's it. This is all. They all are pigs in a trough. They're all controlled.
Corbyn signed the early day motion on the Bradbury pound. Now he's totally ignoring it. So it's just the same as the rest of them.
Well, do you know what my like 2 pence in the thing about Corbyn is that this. I think that his integrity can't be questioned, but if the Labour Party's been infiltrated since the New Welcome Lodge in 1929 with the Freemasons, then ever since, if they're involved in the NEC and PLP, then we need to eradicate them entirely, and that's just a long game. I think we seriously need to just work on a constitution.
Maybe. But you know, you go to the Fabian Society, go and look at it. It was just before then. Fabian Society that created the Labour Party, which actually most liberals were involved with, and one particular famous prime minister called Asquith, who stole the royal prerogative, who stole the tripartite.
And it was buried under the sacred mount. Oh, I'm sorry. It sounded like a...
Yeah, well, listen, this is
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Look, James, my view on it all is I'm not old enough and ugly enough to have been part of.
Oh, I know you're big on history, bro. Go ahead. I was just kidding there because it sounded you were building it up really good. I like the build up. I was getting all into it. Go on.
It doesn't make a jot of difference who you vote for, whoever. They're all the same pigs in a trough. And it's just, you're never going to get any change. The change has to come from you.
I just think we should go back onto the topic of decentralization, putting our fingers up to these big corporations and just saying, look, we're going to look after our little community here. And then if every community does that and then obviously communicates with other communities and says, look, this works, that works, this doesn't work, that doesn't work.
One word that makes the corporations shudder in their boots.
Decentralization.
Boycott.
We have decentralized with Brexit, haven't we? Because that's what we've done. We've stepped out of it.
Well, that's not entirely. Obviously, we all want the utopia. We want the eradication of fiat currency. We want to go back to the gold standard, or we want to implement cryptocurrency with a blockchain. We need to just tear away these corporations and say, look, we don't need you.
I agree. That's where you've got to go. You've got to decentralize it all. Get rid of it all, but it ain't going to happen overnight, is it, Wes? It's going to take maybe several generations.
It's going to take serious graft.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
going to take all us old boys to go down to basics and say, look, if we want this app that's in the back of our mind, we're going to have to learn all the languages to make that actually tangible.
But see, what people don't realise is we don't live in countries anymore. We live in corporations. United Kingdom, UK, is a corporation. So when you elect your prime minister, all you're doing is electing the director of a corporation. That's why things are going on exactly the same forever.
Yeah, but they only get authority from you.
Well, yeah, but I mean, unless everybody stops voting, they're going.
Well, listen, that's the whole.
Not
idea
even
of
stops voting, stops funding the beast. Everyone stopped paying council tax. Everyone stopped the money going into banks and put it into community credit unions or cryptocurrency. Get your wage in crypto.
Yep.
Go self-employed. Just start harnessing, chip away at it first, and then when you learn the more tricks of the trade, go offshore. You don't need this system.
Oh, that's right.
VAT then.
Absolutely. I think that's what people have to do. It's like tearing away, tearing them.
Do you think any of these biggest corporations bank here in the UK and pay our tax rates? Do they? Fuck.
A trust,
So
and then
we just need to do the same. We just need to do the same.
yeah, but how do you get around VAT? Because VAT is on everything you buy, virtually.
Well, if you put your wealth, what do you consider? Do you have wealth, Jeff? Do you have wealth? Do you consider that you have wealth?
No, not really.
Well, you must have some sort of wealth, otherwise you wouldn't be within the system that you're. I mean, you've got something. When you go and exchange something to get something, would you call that wealth?
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
Well, then everybody has wealth.
I have Beanie Babies.
Johnny Babies, whatever it is, it doesn't really
I've got
matter.
chocolate.
My point is, how do you get
I'll
around?
trade 2 Beanie Babies for some chocolate.
Well, you can decentralize this stuff in the things like Wes has just mentioned. You can take it offshore if you like. You can take it out of their system where they cannot own a block. Well, the blockchain is a good
Be in
example.
the sea, be a pirate.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go, mateys. Now we're talking.
Now we're talking.
Yo,
Go enter the
ho,
vessel.
yo, ho,
You
fuck.
enter the vessel, you enter the contract. Do not contract with the beast and you'll be fine.
We're all waiting for the beast. I think a call's coming through from the beast now.
Physically answer my question, though, does it? That doesn't physically answer my question. How do you get around VAT? If I want to go out, I want to buy a new pair of shoes, for example, or whatever. I mean,
Invest in Bitcoin.
yeah, but it doesn't stop you from paying. You still have to pay VAT, don't you?
No, you don't, because they're accepting Bitcoins now, even Starbucks.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
They don't have to pay VAT on their purchase.
No, you don't pay
Who
nothing.
the
They
fuck
can't-
even goes to Starbucks?
Even Starbucks, that's the joke of it all. Even Starbucks.
You do realize that a portion of your money from a Starbucks coffee does indeed go to Israeli interests.
Yes, of course.
Okay,
I'm
just wanted you
saying
to
that-
know.
I'm saying that by the by. But listen, if you can't get coffee anywhere else and you want a cup of coffee and there's only a Starbucks, there's only one or two things. You go without, you don't drink coffee anymore. Or you go to Starbucks. What do you do? What do people do? This is the question Jeff's going to
I
say.
die if I can't have my coffee. I die.
Well, listen, you can't get your weed anymore.
Oh God, no weed, no coffee.
You guys need to get on the dark web.
But listen, if you could get decentralized weed where you don't pay taxes, or you don't
Just seeds and stems, dude.
What
That's
do you mean
shitty
don't
weed.
pay taxes? You just grow it yourself, you man.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to put it in a consumer's world, into a consumer's world.
Let's just go
into-
back to indigenous times where if I've got carrots and next man's got cabbages, let's trade.
Yeah, well, listen, I say this to people who still smoke. Why don't you grow your
I'll tell
own
you what,
tobacco
I'll be
plant?
a shaman. I can come over and rid your house of demons for a sandwich. Would would that be a fair trade? Can we?
Mate, I run a soup kitchen. You can have as many sandwiches as you want.
for the demon ridding. I'll get
Well,
rid of all the demons.
I've got that many bad omens around me. I think I need you around me.
Everybody's got some demons, man. We'll get rid of all those demons.
Free jam.
No, but seriously, guys, you can get whatever you want to get through a lot of it through Bitcoin Direct.
I'm not even joking. Just to put it into like perspective, like I'm not on that much money at the moment. I've been like assaulted in October. I'm on this thing called PRP, which is like some low disability benefit, and I get fines taken off me for not paying council tax. So every 2 weeks I get like £120. So I'm on like less than £9 a day to survive. So if I want to do anything for everyone, I'll just do some like advertising, Photoshop, photographs, video editing, some animation, and I'll just turn around and say, you get me this, you get me that. Like for my soup kitchen, if anyone wants to donate things, I don't say donate money, I say donate the items we need.
Yeah. Or you could actually write an article, which is quite decent, stick it on Steemit, get cryptocurrency, exchange it into Bitcoin and go and get it that way. I don't care.
Exactly. So some homeless person can sit in a library, write a poem, put it on Steemit. Within a month, he has that much traction. He can actually get into a house.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how it's shaping up. I mean,
so yeah, obviously we can't totally like eradicate the systems that are here, but we can like minimalize them and start boycotting certain unethical ones.
Already doing that in a way, Wesley, because you got things like free cycle and all that sort of stuff, you know.
Well, I won't now. My money goes into a community credit union. I won't use a bank. That's the biggest thing anyone in the UK can do. Just fuck your bank off and get a community credit union.
Yeah, I agree with that, 100%.
Yeah, there are ways that you can start to do it.
And then there's a website called Unfrack Me, and you can actually get an energy supplier that only gets like renewable energy. So there's loads of different ways. There's loads of different new systems. It's all about trial and error.
Yeah,
that's a good
Or
idea.
you can just gamble on system failure like George Soros does, and just
He's fiat, isn't he?
The man that broke the Bank of England.
Yep.
You know that he was the man that broke the Bank of England, wasn't he, George Soros?
He made $1 billion off the sterling. Yeah.
He basically gambles on dying economies. So I mean, if you do what he does, we should be fine. You just look for whatever economy is dying and just follow the George Soros rules. Welcome to the George Soros School of Economic Development by Collapsing Economies.
Sponsored by the UK fracking industry.
Yeah, but he does give
because you love to have your ground underneath you filled with lots of little pits and things. You know, you like to get flux, don't you? That's right. By the way, you're listening to Axiom Flux. I had to put that in there.
In an uneconomically viable process that takes more energy to take it out than there is down there.
Yeah, what's this I heard the other day about when they've done this fracking, they're gonna when they finished with the wells or whatever they are, they're gonna put nuclear waste down.
This is the thing. What they're doing with where I'm like in Burnley, Manchester, Lancashire. What they're doing is like rebranding the entire counties as the Northern Powerhouse, and what they're doing is they're saying that they're decentralizing it, but basically they're leaving us Northerners to be guinea pigs for this fracking industry. So they've created, like I said, they're creating all these new bills to oppress us. If you go back a few years and look at the infrastructure bill, you can see that what they've done, sneaky bastards, if they've made it so that they can actually frack under our homes, and that makes it so that we can't insure our homes and we can't sell our homes, and then they can just ruin our homes with this uneconomically viable process. It's just going to ruin the whole environment.
Oh, but now it's so much easier. You get your water.
And then they fill the empty wells with nuclear, and then they harp it. You know,
yeah, so
everybody he gets nuclear poisoning.
Yeah, so basically, Osborne, while he was here in the Northern Powerhouse, he'd been going over to China and he'd been doing deals. So think about it logically. The biggest amount of money is in nuclear waste deposits. And they're going to have these huge tankers that are going to be like prefabricated all over the north. If they've got this infrastructure bill that can say that they can deposit nuclear waste, do you think that they're not going to?
Of course they're gonna.
It doesn't surprise me. Also, I've seen another thing about apparently the US Geological Survey, USGS, admitted that fracking does indeed cause earthquakes. Well, which is nice to know.
Well,
I'm not worried about fracking. Fracking doesn't bother me. Well, but because we're all going to die over here because of Fukushima. So we got all these fish glowing in the dark now and shit. So
No, that's just the genetically engineered one.
I don't know. They're coming upstream. They're beautiful colors. Beautiful. Just the fins in the back of there and the eyeball over on top of 4 or 5 eyes looks much better on them now.
I've heard the gangbangers in New York are selling them as rainbow koi.
You beat me to it. I was going to say besides the rainbow trout.
Yo, do you want some koi?
The FDA has approved the genetically modified salmon now as well. That's the new thing, isn't it?
I'm not promoting smoking koi.
It sounds good.
All the vegans and vegetarians out there.
I'll smoke anything, man, once. I smoke toenail clippings. They're,
Shit, man.
Gross.
That's crack for poor people.
Crack for poor people. Toenail clippings. Lovely.
They look like it, man.
Yeah. Were they painted ones, James?
No, man, you need it clean. You need clean toenails, man. None of that dirt. You don't want any dirty part of the pipe. You just want a nice, clean.
Where do you find clean toenails in America?
It's a long, hard cultivation process to get toenails just right. Just right. You have to have special, warehouses where you have women that just lay there all day long with their toenails just sticking out.
Funny fucker.
We plastic bag them. We take them down to New York City. And we sell them on the street.
Build vans out of them and transport them from.
You dry them out on the street like the Chinese do with
toenail peddler.
Like the Chinese do with the shark fins.
The things I think about while I smoke pot, isn't it?
Toenail peddler.
Nothing but a dirty old toe clipper, James.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think we got to laugh when we go through a lot of this stuff. I think that's another thing. I think that's why I try to cut up a lot when I'm getting serious for a moment. But, I think really the reason I see humor in things and I laugh at the pain of things is because it's the easiest way to deal through a lot of the things that we can't affect. There are things we can't affect, okay?
Yes.
And we should do those. But there are things we can't affect. You can only look at them and go, fuck. So you got to laugh. Because the only way to deal with it, the way to fight it back, since fear seems to be the enemy, right? I mean, fear's coming at us. This is coming, and this is going to get you. And it's, Alex Jones radio, death, abomination.
Fear is their way of making you malleable so they can mold you how they want you.
Yeah, fear is a very good motivator. So to eliminate fear, I find laugh at things, find things humorous. It bugs the shit out of them. They don't know what to do with it. It's like it stops the room. They're like, I'm going to go make this guy scared to death. North Korea is going to come after you. North Korea is going to come kill you. And I start laughing because, again, it's the guy from Gangnam Style is going to bomb me. What a way to die. That'll be great. Well, I'll go Gangnam Style. It'll be a whole new meaning. Anyway, it's You got to laugh at shit like that. I laughed at 9/11 the day it was happening, not because I was like didn't like honor the people who were dying, but because bad circumstances to me, that's where the best humor actually is found. That's where true humor is found. It's in that coping with that horrible, terrible thing. That's why to me, humor, nothing should be taken. You know, people want to censor humor and make all things PC and bullshit. That gets in the way of humor. The minute you make PC humor, it's like there's two human beings walk into a place and they do something, and then one of them says something, and the other one, whose sexuality is not defined here, says something else, and then they laugh together, and the end.
And that's what I actually love about the 4chan and the anonymous movement. It's like everything goes. It's like you cannot be offended, and if you are, then you're stupid, you're weak, and you're letting fear come in front of you and oppress you.
And I've learned one thing, and that is you got to have the skin like a rhinoceros, but the heart like a soft bunny. You got to have love in you that is soft and warm and genuine and caring for other human beings. But at the same time, we live in a world in which if you don't figure out how to have that skin, you're going to get, oh, dude, there's no safe spaces. You wouldn't want them. I wouldn't want the safe space. I don't want places where everybody agrees with me. Hell, that would be boring as fuck. What I want are people who go, you know, I agree with you here, but this, what about this? And I go, what? Oh, what about that? And then we discuss it, and it's interesting.
Yeah, and they're the greatest debates, and that's what the greatest action comes from. I've actually sat down with some people that I thought were my enemies, and I've sat down, and the passion between both of us has created the greatest direct actions.
Oh, absolutely. You have a yin and a yang kind of principle, and the two do have an energy together. You can't get just by two yangs or two yins. You can't get positive and negative. You get a positive and negative flow, and you get a real good flow going. You get two positives together. Sometimes that works, but sometimes it's too much leadership. What I mean by that,
to hone your sword nice and sharp, you need friction.
Yeah, yeah. You need a hard shell and a good sword. You need some kind of true knowledge behind what you're doing. But I'd say my true knowledge is this, is I don't believe anything. I have good ideas for things. But belief, that's too solid for me. I want to change. I want to be changeable. I want to learn. I want to develop. I want to grow. So if I once I believe something too hard, I don't have that room to grow anymore. So what I do is I look for ideas, and these are the most palatable ideas, the most great ideas, but I can always change those things, you know? Those are okay. And that's, to me, that's how you get along in this world. What most people are doing is they're trying to solidify ideas and hold everybody to their ideas. This idea is now a belief. Now you will believe this. Now you too will follow me because this is right. This is truth. And they define what truth is. And what I say is truth is a little bit more complex than just a black or white, this or that thing.
Exactly. And mathematicians try and label it as something like the chaos theory, but really it's just evolution. It's like adapting and working each other out and just like analyzing surroundings and trying to, like, I don't know, trying to be better human beings.
And challenge yourself. I challenge myself all the time. You know, don't just challenge other people because that's fun.
And look beyond the actual human being. Look within the spirit.
Well, I tell people, find the pet things that you believe in, whatever they are. Now, pretend you don't believe those things, and then try to prove them to yourself. What is the proof that you would say your pet ideas? You know, whatever it is, whether it's a religion or politics. Take that and pick it apart, because you know what? Truth likes to be questioned. Truth wants to be weeded so that the real truth remains.
My question is, does a constipated mathematician work it out with a pencil?
No, it's the heart. The heart is you can't work out with a pencil. The heart, the inner being of you. Your mind, your
you know what, Matt? In this whole activism world, going back to Iceland, Birgitta, who like helped the Pirate Party, her greatest bit of like advice to me was this: it was trust your heart and your intuition, because in this game, it's your only compass.
And I think that stays with the theme of today's show, which is about leaders. We're almost done, I think, with today's show, actually, because I got to get going here in a second. But I did want to say, be your own leader. I guess that's really the truth.
That's
You
it.
got to learn to
That's
be
it.
your own leader and have integrity in your own leadership so that you would follow you. So you would follow you.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't follow you, why would anybody else want to? So follow
That is
yourself.
what we need is leaders with integrity.
Yes.
And that is very well lacking.
Be your own leader with integrity, and those people who will follow you because they'll see your integrity being lived out, and they will maybe hesitantly do it. Maybe they'll be afraid of you. There'll be those who hate you. Don't worry about it. Have that skin of the rhinoceros, but keep the heart of the bunny. Keep that warm feeling, because that's what's leading you. That's your passion. That's that's the thing that's the love.
And look at these other movements like Parrot Party and like Ubuntu and like all these other. Just go on the online and look at other ways of living. We don't have to live like.
Decentralize yourself. Decentralize yourself. Yeah.
Blockchain. Research the blockchain.
Yes. Talking about that, I've got a bit of good news. If I say to you, Wes, go and check your Steam, you'll see why.
Go on.
Well, go and check it.
I'm not even on Steam.
Go check.
You're joking.
My Steam.
No, unless there's someone else there pretending to be me.
Whoever it is, go and check it, I would say.
Always check your Steam.
Check your Steam.
What's
check
the username?
Check.
Pardon?
What's the username?
Whose username?
On Steam.
Just go onto the just put into Google
Steamit.com.
Put the
I got lobsters coming up. What's with some?
No, put coin caps. Go to the coin cap site and then look up Steam under the cryptocurrency and see what's happened over the last 24 hours or the last 2 days.
1 second.
Have a look at the chart there. It's only just started. It's only just started, but I think you know.
I'm always dubious of trends. When
It's not a trend. It's not a trend. You've got to understand. You've got to understand.
It has had a 42.15% increase.
Yes.
For 24 hours in trade.
Yeah.
So literally, I'm not even joking now. Fuck Facebook off. If you're listening to this, go on to steamit.com, and every post that you all your energy can be actually traded with cryptocurrency. It can be rewarded.
Sounds kind of interesting. Steamnet.com.
Yeah.
Steamit.
Yeah, well, listen, Jay, you're not blogging.
STEMIT.com.
Yeah.
I'm going to give that a whirl, I think. Sounds good to me.
If you're blogging and putting stuff up on Face Us for what it is, why the hell don't you put it on a site like this?
Exactly. All I've been thinking for the past few months is I put something on Facebook and within a few minutes it's down the actual list and no one's looking at it.
Yeah.
So whereas Steamit is like Reddit on steroids.
Well, I've put steamit.com on, and all I've got up is carpet.
Steamit.com. Are you sure it's not Steamit something else? This is something else there I'm saying.
Yeah, well, the other thing I would say about it is go into YouTube, go and check. There's a load of shit on it.
Steamit.com, STEEMIT.com.
Put
it in the URL.
Yeah, so literally it looks like it's text-based, but if you click on the actual links, you can put in videos, you can put in images, you can put in whatever you want in there, and it's similar to like a blog. But the thing is you can put links to everything, and you're actually rewarded with the cryptocurrency. You can see at the top there, Graphene Brothers pumping a new one. So he's got
STEEMIT.
Yes, so he's got 236 Steamit for his one post, and if you go on to how much that Steamit's worth, you can trade that into Bitcoin, and you can actually spend that. It's bizarre.
Yes.
What is it? Graphene Brothers pumping. What is this porn? Is this?
Fuck knows. No, I think it's just some like developer code.
Who are the Graphene Brothers and what are they pumping? Oh, okay.
I'll tell you what social porn website, social networking.
Well, literally,
is
if you look on the
Facebook.
right-hand side there, you've got all the tags and topics. You've got topics on everything like you have on Reddit and 4chan.
Yes, yeah.
So you can put a post there on philosophy, filmmaking, money, knitting, anything you want.
So, and the thing is, with the blockchain, it's never taken down and it can never be censored.
So no corporation like YouTube can censor your post.
No, that's on there forever.
Well, at least until they sell out to YouTube or some bullshit.
No, they can't. You can't sell a blockchain.
They
can't
can't.
sell a blockchain.
Oh.
You can't own it. That's why the banks can't buy it.
But couldn't they change the laws to something like? I mean, I think it changed.
Hang on, wait a minute, James. How do you own nothing? How do you own nothing?
I own lots of that.
Well, yeah, but how do you own it?
Because it's
you pay for it?
Yeah, I did.
You do?
Why not?
Well, can you show me nothing?
I earned it through my laziness.
Yeah, but can you show me it?
Of course not.
Well, there you go then. So how can you own something that's nothing?
The very act that I own the fact that it's not there.
Oh, what did John Harris tell us? It's all an illusion.
Everything. It's all light and vibration, and we're love.
Tesla, it's all about vibration.
I'm Tesla.
And frequency.
Okay.
I would say if anybody's, bright and intelligent, learn about blockchain, understand it. It's not difficult. You don't have to know the ins and outs of how to read, bits.
Once you do understand it, it's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. And you
I
also...
I love the passion you use. Oh, man, once you get there and you see what's going to happen, this is going to be beautiful, man.
Honestly,
Yeah,
when you see that, it's bizarre.
I get it.
It's bizarre that people are getting like if you was to convert that into your currency, dollars, people are getting hundreds and hundreds of dollars for literally posting what you would do on Facebook for nothing.
Hang on a sec. Before you start blowing the trumpets of Bitcoin and all these blockchain currencies, I still stand by the fact that it's called the World Wide Web for a reason. Maybe it's a trap. Get everybody on these bit currencies and things, and then all of a sudden you can switch off the internet and everybody bloody starves to death.
Well, where do you think all the hidden transactions in the cryptocurrency is being done? It's not being done on the World Wide Web, brother. It's being done beneath the onion. It's being done in the dark web, in the deep web, where it's not in the World Wide Web. It's just literally in the network that is us.
If they can't switch off the dark web, then it's pretty safe then, yeah?
Well, we can set up mesh networks anywhere. We don't need these corporations. Why would I ever pay an internet bill when I can do it for free?
When that big EMP comes, though, we're all doomed, and then all the electricity goes down, and no matter what you got, all the gone.
That's a bloody good point there you got, James, because, an EMP would take out all electronics.
You need batteries even be fucked. So what you need to do then is have candles and lighters and cigarettes, because that'd be how you'd live and survive.
Well, I've got containers full of tins of beans and everything. So
yeah, and be sure to stock up. Let me recommend this to you as well. You're going to need a good supply, and I mean a really, really super good supply of condoms. Make sure you get that. Most people forget about that.
I think
it's going to be important, because you're not going to want to be having no babies once the apocalypse occurs. They're not going to do well out there birthing them. So you're going to want plenty of these, and they're tradable and they're small. So hey.
Well stocked up on cans of nothing. I've got pickled nothing, boiled nothing, roasted nothing. I've got everything, just nothing.
It's good.
You can trade 3 condoms for a can of beans. I swear to God, you can do it.
We'll all probably not even survive the apocalypse.
I hope not, but I understand. I'm probably front lines if Korea does some shit. Portland and Seattle would just be like the first. We would be like waking up one morning to like Red Dawn. Okay, you ever see that movie? See, that's about Seattle. That's about up near Seattle. That's just a short hop from here to me, you know. So all these, if you see that, it could happen. Like Red Dawn
If
scenario.
we get like a heads up and there's 48 hours before everything shuts down, can you make sure that you incite the purge over in the US and you go for Trump?
Well, if I can, what I'll do is I'll put out some Facebook posts about, look at these planes exploding over my house. Oh God, you know. It'll be great. I plan on laughing a lot during the apocalypse. I'm really hoping that it's a good show. I would really like a good show at the end. I don't just want.
How would the ending go?
Usually, boom. Boom is just about just a global boom, and then you just see on some other planet they say, "I wonder what was on that world." And that's the end of mankind.
Like a Beavis and Butthead type.
What?
Like a Beavis and Butthead type show, and they just turn around and go.
Yeah, Beavis and Butthead are God. Exactly. Hey, did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy that, Beavis? That was pretty fun, huh? Fire, huh? Fire, yes, fire. Exactly. Now, all of us know Beavis and Butthead, right?
But I think, James, I'm going to shoot off in a minute, but before I go, everybody's right to be skeptical, as they say, about anything.
Exactly.
No matter what it is, steam it.
Keep asking questions.
Yes, and also, but don't forget, while you're being skeptical about everything else that other people say, which you should be, just remember, keep putting them posts on that Facebook, because that's genuine. Facebook, that's a real genuine social networking site that doesn't enslave you and doesn't hold you down to where you are. Always remember that.
Actually, I just like putting out their stuff, and whatever just sticks to people, they can have it, and most doesn't. Some people get pissed off at stuff that I didn't mean. It's like, did you mean this by this post, or was this about me? And I'd be like, no. Where did you get this idea?
Let me just say one more thing, and I'll clear off because Paul asked something. Paul, just open up an account and you'll be given some cryptocurrency.
Yeah, but I don't know how to open it up, mate. He don't show you where to click or anything.
It should be, Paul. It should be all there, not in front of you. If you want to open an account, it should say at the top. Yeah, it should say.
Submit a story.
Well, hang on. No, you've got to. Yeah, well, if you go to do one, it'll say open an account, and you'll go through the process. Yeah.
I can't see where it says open an account.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to head out here because I gotta go take care of some stuff today on this beautiful, beautiful Oregon Sunday. It is beautiful outside. There's sunshine and everything. So I'm gonna head out. But
okay, guys. Yeah,
take care. Bless.
All right.
Nice speaking to you
Canada
guys.
bless. Yes. What?
God bless you, James.
Oh, yes, very much so. You guys too. And hang in there and be the love you want to see in the world. Keep holding on to yourself in other ways than what you just thought. And consider life a joy. Don't look at it as a drudgery, because you only have so many days upon the earth. All right.
May love be with you and all your loved ones.
Peace out, brothers. I'm out.
I'm going to get going soon, but just before I go, let me play this so that everyone can have a little break, run to the toilet, and just question everything.
Yeah.
Go for it, Wes. Watch it.
Life is about questions. The more questions you ask, the more answers you're gonna get. The more answers you get, the more things that you're gonna know. Understand? Look, who said that E equals MC squared? Who's to say that the world ain't square? Who's to say that heaven's even there? Nobody knows, who cares? And why is poverty even an issue? Why don't the people who have got it want to give you? Who knows if Jay-Z is a mason? Who knows the real location of the goal that they're chasing? And when will mankind learn to be patient and stop the wrong moves that it's making? When? See, who said a doctor is a god? The NHS is a business, and who gets robbed? Who's really myself, repeat that. I believe in myself, because who's really had enough, and who's really tough, and who's scared? If there's life on the moon and just leave them there, how can we really get prepared for something that we don't know is there? And why don't we share? And why does a man need to be a millionaire? And why can't we wear what we want to wear without the robots that stop and stare? And how come we're unaware? And why do people say they want to know about it when they don't care? And how does the unconscious become conscious? How can I break it if I've never promised? And where's logic? And these drinkers Zionists for the bit of 48, and I don't know what hyper is. Hell yeah, fucking right. I keep screaming free, free Palestine. I keep screaming free, question everything. The life that we live in is a lie, cause it's not just clouds in the sky. And the Illuminati is not just an eye. And I know that Adam and Eve was a lie, so I question everything and never take another man's word or rely on what another man's heard. It's easy. I believe in myself, repeat that. I believe in myself. Tell me why Africa is poor despite the land is so broad and wide, filled with all the resources that they use to make the things that we buy. Tell me why they just survive when all that we need the land provides. All that they need the land provides. All that we need the land provides. Listen, question everything. The life that we live in is a lie, cause it's not just clouds in the sky. And the Illuminati is not just an eye. And I know that Adam and Eve was a lie, so I question everything and never take another man's word or rely on what another man's heard. It's easy. I believe in myself, repeat that. I believe in myself, repeat that. I believe in what they tell man, fam. I don't believe in all the stuff they want to put on the news. I don't believe in all the internet jargon. I do my own research. I look into my own sources. To understand the plan is to lock you down and keep you brainwashed. But make sure your brain's washed by yourself. The truth, logical, salute. Rah!
Just want to say thanks to everyone on Axiom, Curb, for having me on tonight. Bless, what a great family. Hope to be back soon. Take care, brothers.